Okay, welcome to another video. It's been a while since I put a video out on this channel, the reason why is because originally this channel was my personal channel. I had a load of stuff in there that was just personal stuff, really, a bit of Star Wars, bits and pieces. But then when obviously the pack came, and I mistakenly uploaded this video to this channel instead of my other cosplay channel, which is more of the cosplay group that I'm in, it actually picked up quite well, so I decided to turn it into a Ghostbusters channel. And then I thought, I've finished that, what am I going to do next? And I have got a few other bits and pieces to do. I want to weather my flight suit and other bits and pieces. But I do a lot of cosplay, a lot of other cosplays, and I'm always upgrading kit and doing stuff to kit, so I figured I'd turn it into another cosplay channel, just for me, my personal cosplay channel, rather than my group cosplay channel. So if you're here and you're here because of Ghostbusters, that's great, stick around. I've got a lot of bits and pieces coming up that I'm going to be doing to some of my Ghostbusters kit, more upgrades, more paintwork, weathering, that kind of stuff. But I'm also going to be doing other stuff as well. But that doesn't mean to say that it wouldn't work for Ghostbusters. So things like this is my next current project, which I'm going to be doing for my wife. This is hers. This is the Aayla Secura Hilt, or one of them at least, I think, depending on where you see her in the Star Wars universe, whether it's in the Clone Wars cartoons or in the film. She's got different hilts. I don't know which one this is. I'll be honest with you, my wife knows more about that kind of stuff than I do, and she does Aayla Secura as a cosplay. So this is going to be a quick, I say quick, probably won't be quick, a video of, I'm going to sand this down. I don't know whether I'll be painting it or my wife will be painting it, then weathering it. But certainly I'm going to do all the sanding down and stuff like that, and I'll video if my wife does it. I'll video it anyway. Yeah, I mean, this is 3D printed. A mate of ours 3D printed this for us. It's a really good file. My OCD kicks in because if you see, I don't know if you can see there is a seam there on the bottom two bits, and then the seam for this bit is round here, and then the seam for the top bit is round there. That's my mate's fault. That's just my OCD kicking in. But what I will do is spur me to make sure that I sand it down properly. So I'm going to get into this, get some sanding done. I've got to find the sandpaper because my wife has put it somewhere and I don't know where it is. So I've got to find it first. And when I do, I'll start sanding this down, getting this nice and fine. I've got some filler primer if I need it. I don't know whether I will need it, but I might have to mask a few little areas like inside. I don't want any paint getting inside there because there's other little bits to be printed red that go inside there. I'm assuming that's the igniter switch. But obviously, like things like the bottom, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get a bit of light on it. And if you can see, don't know. Anyway, it just needs a good sanding. So I guess we'll start with the sanding down, and then we'll see if it needs any filler primer. If not, we'll just be priming it for either me or my wife to paint. Let's do this. So first pass with the kind of hard grit 120 or 150, no 120, and it's okay. There's obviously areas on this that I can't physically get to. You can see just inside there. Yeah, that's no good. I can't get in there. And some other areas like inside some of the grooves, pretty tricky. Around the outside of the igniter button, there's also a bit tricky. There's some artifacts of support structure there as well. It's a really difficult thing to do. So what I might do is actually still use the filler primer. I'm not going to use fine grit on that just yet, because if I need to use filler primer, I'm going to have to resand it anyway, so there's not much point, and my hands are hurting. I've been doing this now for about 2 hours. So guys, if you're into 3D printing, or you get a 3D print and you're looking at doing some paint work to it, spend time sanding. Anyone will tell you, if you speak to anyone who does 3D printing or 3D modelling, that kind of stuff, if you spend more time sanding it and getting it, you know, more perfected in the sanding stage, you will come up with less problems later when you start to paint, and you'll have a nicer, finer product at the end. So I'm going to wait for the missus to get home from work, because she works, and I'm a stay-at-home daddy / photographer, so I do work. But I need to know what colours she wants me to do on this thing, or she's going to colour it herself, paint it herself, I don't know. But I'm probably going to, I might send her a message and see if she wants me to quickly use my filler primer which has been graciously donated by a friend of mine. It's yellow, but it doesn't really matter, it's going underneath. Orange, whatever. And I might see if she wants me to get that started and done now, so I can do some more work on this tomorrow. Okay, let's see where we get with this. Let's do it. Okay, here it is. This has had a coat of the what do you call it? The filler primer, which is yellow. There are some bits in there that aren't too nice, but that's why I've got some files coming today that will get into the little ridges that I can't get into with my fingers and sandpaper. But I've done a bit of sanding already. I'm smoothing it down. I used initially a 320 grit paper just to get the rougher big bits off of the some of the areas, and now I'm down to a 2000 grit, and I'm just going through getting the finer areas, trying to make it as smooth as possible so that when I come to paint it, it's going to have a nice smooth effect. This is going to look amazing. I'm going to get onto some more sanding now. Remember, the sanding phase of this is very important. Take your time, get it as smooth as you possibly can. Like I said, I've got some really fine files coming, like metal files coming, that will get into those ridges. They're coming today as well, so I'm going to get as much as I can done with the sandpaper and then wait for that, and then this will be painted tomorrow and the next day, because I'm going to make sure it's done properly so I don't get in trouble with the missus. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Yeah. I'm in a little bit of a rush, but yesterday I did the paint for our little puppy here. I've given it a weird kind of undercoat again with grey, because I've got two silvers. One of them has to be a lot silverier than the other one, if that makes sense. But they're both exactly the same. So what I've done an undercoat of the grey that I've got, and I'm going to give a light spray over the grey to give it a darker silver effect. And then the end, you see I haven't done a lot too, because that's going to get a full silver effect. You'll understand what I mean when I finished it. And I'm getting knocked, I've got to go because I'm running a little bit late. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a spray up with a bit of silver, and then I'll show you what I've done with it. It is. How good does that look? So this was 3D printed by a friend of ours. I have done a lot of paint to this. It's taken a good week and a bit to get this painted up. So let me go through what I've done. So the first thing I did was give it a spray with filler primer just to fill in some edges and sand it down to get a nice smooth finish. Then I've added some my silver spray, which is quite nice, but I actually used an undercoat of grey. So what I did, I made it like a dappled spray. I sprayed it very lightly. So I don't know if you can see there, it's got a kind of brushed metal look. And that's kind of what I was after, that brushed metal look on this piece, on the main centerpiece. And on the tops, you see that's quite, yeah, look at that. You can see yourself, a reflection in there. It's quite nice. So I've used a paint pen actually for this, a very, very good mirrored finish paint pen. I'll leave a link to it in the description and on the bottom there as well. Look, the bottom needs another quick go over because it's come off a little bit. But I've added some grey silver inside the crevices there because they're slightly dark on the outside, and then the black. So these are supposed to be like O-rings kind of thing, so I'll paint them black, and inside all of the crevices all the way down to the bottom there is all black. Now in the original and obviously in the metal one, these are really tiny thin, but this is a 3D print from a mate of ours, and it's come up really, really, I'm really impressed with this. So Samantha, and because this is actually for Samantha. We've also got 3D printed red little bits that go on there. They were tight, so I had to do a lot of sanding on them and do a lot of work actually to get them fit in there, at the hammer them in. And we've got a little bit of actual filament in there for the little red thing in there because it doesn't come with anything. So these buttons here or there, I've painted that gold. This one's silver with a bit of blue inside. What I did there, it actually needs a little bit more sanding down. Is these are all using the silver mirrored pen, but inside there I painted a little bit of blue like acrylic pen, and then I added some glue on top of it, and the glue has kind of absorbed the blue and it's risen up. It's not the best finish at the moment. I'm going to quickly finish that in a bit, and then there's that one there which is the silver finish again. Really, really pleased with this. Samantha loves it. All I have to do with this now is to seal it over, because I've had to use a bit of rub and buff here and there just to fill some areas in. And the last thing you want is when your hand in this rub and buff will come off on your hands. So it does need a quick seal over with the seal I've got. But not much else after that. This is pretty much done. I'm really happy with this. I've got to mask a few areas off because I don't want the sealer to affect the top bit and the bottom bit and the buttons and the red bit there. I don't want the sealer to do anything to those because I don't know what it's going to do. Apart from that, really happy with this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously I've got more stuff coming. I've got some Star-Lord stuff coming up real soon. Wait there, I'll show you. One thing I haven't had are the holsters for my Star-Lord cosplay. So these will sit on some leather pads that go down on, I've actually got motorcycle trousers, and these are for the blasters. So these are blaster holsters. They just clip into the side and you can take them off and out and just put them back on really easily, that kind of stuff. Really pleased with these, printed by the same friend. Thanks again, Jay. Really nice prints. I don't know if I'm going to have to do much to these. Apart from maybe paint them, and that's it. I don't even know if I need to paint them. We'll see. Stick around for more videos. Obviously Ghostbusters and other things coming up, so yeah, if you're interested, stick around, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Always happy to answer questions, always will answer questions. If anyone's got any questions about this cosplay or this build, or the paintwork, or what I'm going to be doing next, or if they've got an idea of what I should do, leave them down in the comments. Thanks guys, see you in another video. Take care. Bye.